Every year, millions of people around the world eat fish, thinking it's a healthy choice. After all, fish is packed with protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and other nutrients. But what if I told you that some of the fish you're eating could be more dangerous than you realize? Did you know that some fish can contain deadly toxins or high levels of mercury? In fact, eating just one meal of certain fish could be enough to expose you to dangerous chemicals. The World Health Organization warns that nearly 1 in 3 people have elevated mercury levels in their blood, much of which comes from fish. In this video, we're diving into the shocking truth about 6 of the deadliest fish you might be eating right now. We'll explore how these fish can harm your health and show you simple strategies to make smarter, safer choices. Stick around to learn how to protect yourself from these hidden dangers, and how to keep your meals both tasty and healthy. Chapter 1, Toxic Treasures, the hidden danger lurking in your sushi roll. Sushi is often considered a healthy option, but there's a hidden danger that many of us overlook. While fish like tuna and salmon are great sources of protein and omega-3s, they can also contain high levels of mercury. In fact, studies have shown that fish like tuna, especially big-eyed tuna, can have mercury concentrations over 1,000 times higher than in seawater. That's concerning, because too much mercury can affect your nervous system, especially in children and pregnant women. Mercury poisoning can lead to cognitive issues, memory problems, and even developmental delays in young children. It's estimated that 1 in 5 women of childbearing age has unsafe levels of mercury in their blood due to seafood consumption. If you're eating sushi frequently, it's important to be mindful of this risk. So, how can you enjoy sushi without the worry? Start by opting for fish lower in mercury, like shrimp, scallops, and certain types of salmon. You can still enjoy sushi, just choose wisely. Also, be sure to buy from reputable sources that follow safe and sustainable fishing practices. Here's a fun fact: did you know that the word sushi doesn't refer to the fish itself, but to the seasoned rice? So, don't let the fish ruin your healthy eating goal. Stick with fish like mackerel or sardines, which are packed with healthy fats and lower in toxins. And, if you're making sushi at home, be sure to get fish that's been flash frozen to kill any parasites. Chapter 2, The Silent Killer. Fish you don't know are polluted. Not all fish are created equal, and many of them carry hidden pollution in their bodies. Fish that live in polluted waters often accumulate harmful chemicals like PCBs, dioxins, and pesticides. These toxins are known to cause serious health problems, including cancer, hormone disruption, and immune system damage. Unfortunately, many of these pollutants are invisible to the naked eye, so most people never think about them when they choose their fish. For example, farmed salmon has been shown to have up to 16 times more PCBs than wild-caught salmon. These chemicals accumulate in fat, so eating fatty fish like salmon can expose you to a significant amount of harmful substances. This is particularly alarming because PCBs are linked to developmental problems in children and an increased risk of autoimmune diseases. To protect yourself, it's crucial to know where your fish comes from. Always look for sustainably sourced, wild-caught options when you shop. And don't be afraid to ask your local market or restaurant about the fish they serve. They should be able to tell you where it's from, and whether it's been tested for toxins. A staggering statistic to consider: the Environmental Working Group, EWG, found that over 95% of the fish sold in the US contains detectable levels of pollutants. This is a huge wake-up call to make better seafood choices. Opting for fish like anchovies and sardines, which are lower on the food chain, can help you avoid many of these toxins. Not only are they better for your health, but they're also more sustainable for the environment. Chapter 3, Venom in the Waters. Fish with deadly toxins you need to avoid. While most fish are safe to eat, there are a few notorious species that can be deadly if not properly prepared. Take the fugu, or pufferfish, for instance. This delicacy is a popular dish in Japan, but it contains a potent neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, which can cause paralysis and death in just a few hours. In fact, fugu preparation requires special licensing, and only chefs trained for years are allowed to serve it. Tetrodotoxin is 1,200 times more toxic than cyanide, making it one of the deadliest substances known to man. Even a small mistake during preparation can lead to a fatal dose. Yet, despite the risks, there are still over 30 deaths from fugu poisoning every year in Japan. It's hard to believe that such a beautiful fish can be so deadly. But there are other fish you need to watch out for as well. The barracuda, for example, contains a toxin called ciguatoxin, which can cause ciguatera poisoning. Symptoms of this illness include nausea, vomiting, and a strange sensation where cold feels hot. It's more common in tropical regions, but still a concern for those who consume it. If you're considering eating fish, make sure you know the risks. Avoid fish that might carry these deadly toxins, and stick to varieties that are proven to be safe, like cod or trout. Also, take extra care when preparing any exotic fish at home. Be aware of their potential dangers and always follow strict guidelines. If you enjoyed learning about the dangers lurking in the waters, don't forget to subscribe for more videos on how to make healthier food choices and avoid hidden dangers in your diet. Chapter 4: Why your healthy fish could be full of parasites. Fish may look clean and healthy on the outside, but the inside can sometimes hide dangerous parasites. These parasites can cause a range of issues from mild stomach discomfort to severe infections. The most common parasite found in fish is anisakis, a worm that can cause a condition called anisakiasis. If you've ever had a bad reaction after eating sushi, this could be the culprit. Anisakis larvae can penetrate the walls of your stomach or intestines, leading to intense abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. In some extreme cases, they can even cause an allergic reaction, with symptoms as severe as anaphylaxis. While most cases are mild, there have been reports of people requiring surgery to remove the parasites. The key to avoiding parasitic infections is proper preparation. Freezing fish at -4 degrees Fahrenheit, -20 degrees Celsius, for at least 7 days will kill any parasites that may be present. In many countries, especially Japan, sushi restaurants follow strict guidelines to freeze their fish, so it's often safe to eat. Another strategy is cooking your fish thoroughly. Many parasites, including the infamous anisakis, cannot survive high temperatures. Just 10 minutes of cooking at 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius, is enough to kill them. If you're buying fresh fish to cook at home, ask the seller where it comes from and whether it's been frozen to kill parasites. And here's a fascinating tidbit: did you know that anisakis larvae can sometimes grow up to 3 centimeters in length? That's a pretty big worm to find inside your dinner. Chapter 5: The Mercury Menace. Fish that are poisoning you slowly. Mercury is a heavy metal that naturally occurs in the environment. But when humans release mercury into the air through pollution, it ends up in oceans, lakes, and rivers, and eventually gets absorbed by fish. Large fish, like swordfish and shark, are especially vulnerable to mercury contamination. Mercury builds up in the tissues of these fish, and the longer they live, the more mercury they accumulate. This process, known as biomagnification, means that apex predators at the top of the food chain, like tuna, swordfish, and sharks, have much higher levels of mercury than smaller fish. Eating these fish regularly can expose you to dangerous levels of mercury, which can lead to neurological problems over time. A study by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, found that 10% of adults in the US have blood mercury levels that exceed the EPA's safety guidelines. This is alarming, as high mercury levels can cause cognitive decline, anxiety, and heart problems. Pregnant women and young children are especially vulnerable, as mercury can affect brain development in infants. So, how can you protect yourself from mercury poisoning? First, avoid consuming large predatory fish like swordfish, shark, and king mackerel. Instead, opt for smaller fish like sardines, anchovies, and wild-caught salmon. These fish have lower mercury levels, yet still provide plenty of healthy omega-3 fatty acids. In fact, studies have shown that omega-3s found in fish can reduce the risk of heart disease, lower cholesterol, and even fight inflammation. So, eating the right types of fish can have lasting health benefits, without the toxic risks. Chapter 6: Cage of Contamination. The unseen risks of farmed fish. You might think that farmed fish are a safe, sustainable option, but there's a darker side to this industry. Farmed fish, particularly salmon, are often raised in crowded conditions where disease and parasites spread rapidly. To combat this, many fish farms use antibiotics and chemicals, which end up in the fish you eat. In fact, a study by the Canadian government found that farmed salmon contain significantly higher levels of chemicals, including pesticides, than wild salmon. Farmed fish are also fed a diet that's not natural for them. Many farmed salmon are fed pellets made from other fish, including smaller fish that have been caught from the wild. This practice puts additional strain on marine ecosystems. Plus, the antibiotics and growth hormones given to farmed fish can end up in your food, affecting your health in the long run. Another issue with farmed fish is that they are often raised in environmentally harmful conditions. The waste from these fish accumulates in the surrounding water, leading to pollution and damaging ecosystems. In fact, Some fish farms have been known to leak toxins into the surrounding oceans, affecting local wildlife. When it comes to your health, the solution is simple: go wild. Wild-caught fish tend to have fewer toxins and chemicals, and their diets are more natural. If you're concerned about the environmental impact, look for sustainably sourced wild-caught fish or consider plant-based seafood alternatives, which are rising in popularity. It's also helpful to do your research before buying fish. Look for certifications like the Marine Stewardship Council (MSC) label, which ensures that the fish you buy comes from a sustainable and environmentally friendly source. By being aware of these hidden dangers and following a few simple guidelines, you can make healthier, smarter choices when it comes to eating fish. Protect your health and enjoy a longer life by avoiding these dangerous fish and choosing the safer alternatives. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to eat better and live healthier.